All right, ladies, I am so excited to bring to you this episode of our Outrageously Successful Women in Real Estate series. I think we're on episode 10. And today we have the privilege of speaking with Ann Lusk, who is the broker owner of Lusk and Associates. She's with Sotheby's International Realty, and it is a luxury boutique firm that Ann heads up and owns. And she's just tearing it up. It's just crazy good. And some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, Lancaster, isn't that Central PA? How in the world could we have such a heavy hitter in Central PA and someone that specializes in the luxury end of things? You know, I know when I think about, and I'm from Philly, so I kind of sort of know Lancaster County, and I think the Amish, but I'm so excited. We only have a half an hour to share with Ann, so I'm going to shut up and I want to turn this over to Ann. I have a bunch of questions for her, and but I just want to give you this little teaser. All right, and that is I have the 2016 production for Ann, her company, her firm, and it was almost 138 million, okay, of which, Ann, I think you said 71 million was your personal production. So
that's correct.
Ladies, I want to introduce you to Ms. Ann Lusk. Ann, welcome.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show today. It's a real honor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Now, listen, I have watched you on video. Of course, I do my due diligence before I interview you, and I was just blown away. Can you just tell the ladies very briefly how you came to get into real estate?
Well, real estate was something I never planned on doing. I had been a TV anchor person. I'd worked in corporate America, and I had a business that was wholesaling high-end cars. And I had moved to Palm Beach, Florida, and I would meet people from all over the world, and especially people from Germany or Hong Kong or Dubai. They just wanted to see what Florida was like. So when they came, what's not like about Palm Beach, Florida? I mean, it's beautiful, great restaurants, you know, Worth Avenue. It is fun and exciting, and lots of beautiful people there as well. So this one gentleman said, I love it here so much. He was German, and he said, find me a house, Ann. I said, I am not a realtor. Well, then get one. And I did all the previewing of all the houses, and he said he wanted to see no more than 7. And I told him before he got there, he would be buying the last one. And I did all the research. And at that point, he's like, you should be the real estate agent. And I said, oh, no. That is way too painful. You work 24/7, you work really hard. And a lot of times people just go buy a house in an open house from somebody else and forget about all the hours you put in. And he said, no, I think you should do that. And I started in Florida at Gimmelstaub Better Homes and Gardens. And I probably was the youngest agent in the office.
Mm-hmm. How old were you?
I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. I had great mentors there and was very appreciative with their patience for me, because in your 20s, you're not always the most focused of human beings. So then I ended up moving to Pennsylvania, and then moving to Brentwood, California, and then moving back to Pennsylvania, and was in pharmaceutical sales. And I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
And I didn't get this job I wanted. And my fiance at the time, who's now my husband, said, thank goodness you didn't get that job. You should really go into real estate. And my mother really gave me a hard time about it, because she said, why would you want to be a real estate agent? You need counseling. Everybody fails. Everybody fails in real estate. There's like one person who makes it, and you're just, you need to get a real job. So I babysat, and I worked really super hard. And I was fortunate. I started at a mom and pop here locally. It was much different than Palm Beach, Florida, Jupiter, Florida, you know, Tequesta, Stewart. I started in a small city mom and pop shop where my average sales price was $54,900. And out of my first almost 100 clients, I think almost everyone, English was a second language. But that's where you have to use what you have. I lived in Southern Florida. I lived in Southern California. I took 8 years of Spanish. I put that to good use. And I really learned about serving people and what their needs are. And a lot of times in real estate, people will say, well, how much are you going to earn off that transaction? Oh, that's not going to be really fiscally beneficial. It doesn't matter. If you're truly serving people, whether you earn $1,000 or $100,000 on a transaction, you're still dealing with the human element, and people deserve good service.
Right.
And they deserve to be treated well, whether they're buying a $5,000 modular home or a $5 million ranch.
Love that.
It doesn't make a difference. And I would say that what's helped me in my success is a lot of failure.
Tell me about that.
The more times you fail, the more times you succeed. And those first deals I did when I moved back to Lancaster, it was different. I wasn't showing Greg Norman's neighbor's house on Jupiter Island. I was showing a house that was less than fabulous. But to that person, it was everything. And I really, it was the best lesson, because you learned how you changed people's lives and gave them confidence. And I did a little bit of flipping. I would go buy condemned homes in the city of Lancaster for like $250 to $500 and fix them up, new roofs, new windows, new electric, new plumbing, new kitchens, new baths, and pay all their closing costs. And somebody was getting in a home that they owned for a payment of like $435 a month all in.
Wow.
Cheaper than their rent. And imagine the pride they had that they've achieved something.
Right.
And it also would change a block. You get rid of that blight house and have a dynamite house. People feel good about themselves. Not only the new homeowner, but everyone around them.
Oh, that's excellent. What a story. I love that. And I remember in your video about your mom's comment saying, "What are you doing? You're crazy." Can you share with the ladies your response to her? Because I think that really sets the pace of why you've achieved what you have.
Oh, I told her I wouldn't fail, and I set goals. And in fact, the goals I set, I met in like 8 years, because I told her I would have the best listings, the best car, that even though I was starting really in a bad place, in the sense that, I had been very successful. I was starting over, and I was driving my old Volkswagen that every family member drove in college, that had like hundreds of thousands of miles on it. I didn't let it stop me. And I really said, okay, if I can't do this and I can't do this, what can I be good at? And that always brings opportunities, giving back and having that focus. And my mom still to this day can't believe that I've achieved so much, but it's because I knew I wanted to, and I put 100% focus. I mean, a lot of times people aren't willing to do the heavy lifting. Let's face it. Who wants to be showing a house on Sunday night at 9 o'clock? But if you really want to succeed, you have to do that, because they will go to someone who's willing to. And I think the toughest thing about real estate success is the work-life balance, because when you are a type A personality that wants to go, achieve, you sometimes forget about living, and your work becomes your life. I don't regret it, that I spend like 100 hours a week working, because I see the results. I see how it truly changes people's lives. And everybody has obstacles. Life is a series of changes and bumps in the road. It's how you get over those and get through it. Does your life get better? And you learn from it. And I tell people every day, I hear people that have, you know, really bad things happen. But I tell them my worst moments have brought me my greatest opportunities. It's how you plow through it and believe that you will be okay. And find a solution. A lot of people get to a block in the road and like, oh no, stop, my life is over, I can't do it. You know what? Shame on you. Because I truly feel that, you know, it's an opportunity. And think about transactions. You know, Judy, you said you were in law, real estate. People didn't remember you when things go super calm and perfect. They really don't. They have no memory of it. They just know that it worked out.
Right.
But when there's a real problem, okay, and you solve their problem, you're a hero for life because you just didn't give up.
Awesome.
And I find that real estate, you have a toolbox, okay? You're a psychologist, you're a contractor, you're a problem solver, you're a finance person, you're a fashion designer, because, you know, selling your house and having them pick your listing is like being in a beauty contest. The prettiest girl wins. And people sometimes truly laugh about that, but that's true.
I love that.
People go in and walk in and say, oh, I want to buy this ugly house. So, you know.
Well, take us through that. This is excellent stuff, Anne. I mean, mindset to me is everything. And you had that from the get-go. You had that from the get-go. So for those that may be listening and watching, whether it's now live or in the replay, what advice do you have for them when they feel like they're not enough, or they're not experienced enough, or they lack confidence? What words of wisdom do you have for them?
I have a couple things. Number one, what you think about, you bring about. And I always try to find books, and they might even not even be about real estate, like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It was built many, many decades ago, but the principles are still the same. And another great book, actually one of my friends from Penn State wrote. It's called, let me read it, I just got done with it. Decide to Dominate.
Ooh, I'm not familiar with that one. Okay.
You got to order it on Amazon. My friend DJ Dozier wrote it, and he did a great job. And when I read this book, I thought, wow, you are speaking to real estate agents. Now, he's a superior sports individual. You know, he played pro and two sports and very successful in business. But his principles really sang to me in the fact of, it talks about working your plan and plan to win. You know, you have to decide what you want to achieve in life. It's just not laid on your lap. And a lot of times people give up way too soon. I think that's the number one advice to real estate agents that are new. Don't give up too soon. Realize you're going to fall. You're going to get sacked. You're going to have, you know, a sore arm, okay? Because you've fallen down and tried to brace yourself. You just need to understand that you get back up and you'll heal. And every time that you fall down, you'll get up much faster. And people will do crappy things to you. Yeah. Your clients, your agents, other agents, life happens. Sellers, buyers. You just have to decide that that's not going to define who you are and who you want to be. And again, I think a lot of people in this business don't know who they want to be. You know, they don't want to, they spread themselves in so many different areas, and then they're masters of none.
Okay, and by that, do you mean women who may be agents, but they also have a side gig or something else? Is that?
Yes. I think I do, because what you're saying is you're not good enough to make it. And you need to really, it's in the beginning, I get it, the first 6 months or year and a half, because let's face it, a good new agent, if they sell one house the first 6 months, that's really good, and that's not even going to pay their car payment. So I understand the secondary income, but if you've been in this business 5 years and you're still working another gig, you're not doing yourself a favor or your clients. You know, you need to focus on what you want to do. And the other thing is dabbling in 10 different things. I've had a real estate coach since 95, Joe Stump by referral only. And Joe probably laid the first smackdown on me and said, well, you're doing a little bit of advertising all over. No one's looking and no one cares. And I was a little mad. But then I thought about it and I looked through other publications, other sales things, and the ones that got my attention were the full page ads. Okay, they weren't the little ad in the corner.
Right.
Black and white. They were the full page ads. So I did work a part-time gig and used that money for advertising and marketing, and then started going out on the limb a little bit, in the sense of I had $600. I did cable advertising for 2 months. I had this white bull terrier with black ear named Lucky. And my thing was, you don't have to be lucky to get your home sold. Now, I could only afford to run that 2 months because $600 was my limit. That was 25 years ago. People still come to my open houses and ask me how Lucky is. Lucky would be like really, really old. He'd be a couple 100 years old in dog years. But my point is that was impactful. And the other thing I learned is that people don't see you 6 times repeatedly, your message, that you don't make an impact either. So I think my goal to women getting in this business is choose your niche. What do you want to do? What area do you want to work? Focus on that 100%. Give it your all.
Can you define that a little bit more, Anne? Like, do you mean niche as far as the luxury or first time home?
Not even that. Let's say you're getting into the business and you don't feel comfortable yet with luxury because you have to have a lot of knowledge. And there's a neighborhood that there's 30 sales a year in. First time home buyer. You might say, okay, who would buy in that neighborhood? Oh, these 3 different apartment complexes. Well, why don't I mail to them mailers about first time home buying? Why don't I go then knock on all the doors? Yes, it still works in that subdivision where the first time home buyers will buy, and knock on all those doors, get to know them and say, listen, I'm marketing to find you your buyer before you even list your house. People say, well, why? Well, because I want to offer you a service. You don't want to be on the market that long, do you? You don't want to have to wake up, put your dishes away, hide your dirty wash, hide your kids' smelly sneakers, throw out the trash daily. Wouldn't you like it if I already had 10 pre-approved people before I put the sign in the lawn to buy your house? That's a niche. Why not?
I love it. Excellent. Excellent.
And a lot of times people come in and they say, well, I only want to sell homes over $1 million. Well, that takes years to develop because these buyers are highly educated. They know what they want. They've had experience buying and selling before. And you really want to master your craft. So when you get those big opportunities, you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, super. Now I want to just ask you, since this time I knew we'd go fast, lead gen. You mentioned door knocking, and can I say thank you? There are people out there, coaches as well, saying, door knocking is yesterday, doesn't work. That's crazy to say. So thank you for acknowledging what we know. Door knocking works if you care to do it.
Well, it's a relationship business, Judy, and
Right.
and lead generation. Let's talk about it. And again, I'm going to go back to my coach, Joe Staub. One of the most important things he told me is personal acknowledgement notes. Every day, you should write 10 notes to people you know about them. Truly. How's little Johnny? I drove by a park yesterday, saw him in a soccer shirt. Did he win his game? How's he doing? How's your family? You know, here's what's going on in my world. I've decided to sell real estate. And if you know of anybody, I'd be love to helpful. But I really would love to catch up with you sometime in your family. And I really love what a close-knit family you are. And it was great seeing that your whole family was supporting Jake in a soccer game. Have a great day. Those notes, you know, at first, okay, let's face it, we all can be a little lazy. I started out only writing like 5 a day. And I got a result pretty quickly. And then I thought, holy crap, if I wrote 10 a day, I would have more results. Then I figured, you know, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Why not try? I was up to 25 a day. I did that for 6 weeks. I had leads over and over and over. And it was amazing, that simple act. And door knocking got me some of my best first clients. So I think we are in a relationship business. Lead generation, yes, I pay the extortion fees to Zillow, Realtor.com, Trillium Home Finders, Homes.com, but still 90% of my business is repeat referral. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What I do with those other leads is, you know, I give them to other people in the office. If it's on my own listing, I take it, just because I pride myself in really knowing my own listings very, very well. And I sell a lot of my own listings too, which in some states, I guess you can't do dual agency. But I love helping people because I feel like there's no secrets in time. You know, the truth always comes out. If you're always truthful, then people know that. And again, you can't make anybody do something they don't want to do, especially in the price range I'm in. My average price range varies from $435 to $450.
But that's very different from your area, right? I mean,
it is. The average sales price here is $201. Okay. And then, like this year in the Wall Street Journal, I was number 83 in America for sides. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty
not bad.
Good. So
I sold like 181 homes.
That's crazy. Okay, so let's talk about your team. You mentioned to me before we got recording that you are the client face. You're on the client side of the business, but you have a team. Can you just very briefly go through who is supporting you and what they're doing?
Yes. Again, everybody has to know like where they fit best in the world. I own a company, but I have 3 amazing managers. And at Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, that has my name on it. So I want to be the salesperson. Now, within my office, there's several teams, which have lots of, you know, agents on the team. For me, I feel like people want my expertise. They don't want me handing them off. So I have the fantastic and wonderful Jasmine. She manages my schedule, talks to people. She does all the paperwork, listing, types up contracts. And then I have beautiful Becky, and Becky hands it once it's under contract. Now, the most important part, I would say, is I have a super duper front desk person, Patty, who is great at asking questions to determine what people's needs are and make sure showings go smoothly. Then upstairs are my marketing guys. I have a full-time runner. I have Dante, which I tease him and call him Dantarella. He's a stager, and I provide free soft staging to all my clients. The reason is it's a beauty contest, as I went back to, and little things make big differences. You live in a house so much differently than you sell a house. Then I have Dick Renke. He's wonderful. He makes sure all the signs are out, the booties are there, because I hate dirt, so I make everyone have booties in their house. The home books, the lock boxes, picking up with staging, open house directionals. Again, he has quite a complicated job. And the other thing we do is we check on every vacant home every week. The reason is we don't want someone walking in and seeing a messy house. Because if the owner's like in France or something, they're not going to come back to Lancaster to figure out what their house looks like. So
okay,
excellent. It's interesting. And even though many people today have video cameras in their house, an agent should be aware of that. People are videotaping you when you come through and listening to what you say.
I see that more and more as well. I'm not really in production, but I listed a friend's house recently, and they had that technology, and they shared with me some things. So ladies, yes, that's going to happen more and more. So be aware of that. So obviously, Anne, I would think that you are known in your market as the luxury agent, right?
Correct.
Is there anybody else that's out there doing what you're doing? I don't think so.
No, I would say no one's close. And a couple reasons for that. I do spend a lot of time and effort on marketing and advertising and presentation, number one. Number two, I feel that I'm consistent in my message. Number three, I got to say at Sotheby's International Realty rocks. Their chief marketing officer is so amazing. And he really is looking for new ways to help us promote our homes each and every day. That was one of those worst moments that brought me my greatest opportunity. And I didn't freak out when I got handed lemons. I made lemonade. And Sotheby's has been all the difference. That International Realty, amazing. Great people, great networking, great support. And again, it's the first brand I worked for that really got luxury and also understood that luxury just isn't about price. It's about presentation and lifestyle.
Lifestyle, absolutely. Time is short, but I have to ask you, social media. I know I see you on LinkedIn every day. You're on there, as you said, consistent. But can you talk about your message that you're putting out there specifically, if it's a tagline or something like that, or really what you mean by that, and where are you?
Okay, social media is something that can work for you or work against you, ladies. And what I mean by that is I am on Instagram, LinkedIn, and I have various Facebook pages. I always keep it positive, professional, and well presented. I do have a graphics art marketing person that does all that marketing for me. I add in things like I'm really into quotes. I feel that they can be inspirational to people every day. And part of social media has gotten so negative that just think about that. You're a reflection of what you put out there on the internet. Be kind, be caring, be confident, and be careful.
Love it. Love it. Well, let's talk about some practical stuff in these last few minutes. So let's say there's a woman out there who's been in the business for a year or two, and she feels like she's spinning her wheels and struggling. What's the best advice you would have for her? Maybe, 1 to 3 ideas on lead gen and just actually where to go to get out there and find people.
Well, I would say number one, she needs to reflect on what she's doing. She should start by making a diary of how she's spending her time. And is she time blocking, or is she spending more time complaining about her non-success than seeking opportunities? Number one. Number two, join a referral group. Join a group of like-minded professionals. There's plenty of them out there that you can learn from other business people and make contacts. Three, give back to your community. Because again, your actions will always speak louder than your words. So let people see the person you really are. Three, get out and talk to people. You know, being a secret agent, wear a name tag of what you do. Go and talk to the more successful agents in your office. Do open houses. Engage people. I can't tell you how much business I get at open houses because I'm excited about my product. Whether it's 150,000 or 1.5 million, I'm excited. I want to be there. I want to speak to the people that walk through the door, and I want to serve them, and I don't harass people. I ask them how best I can serve them. I ask them if I have permission to mail them things. People appreciate that I'm just not assuming. I'm pretty good with names. And if they talk about where they live, I look up in the tax records where they live and write them a personal acknowledgement note.
Mm-hmm. Yep, power in that handwritten note. Absolutely.
Correct.
Well, listen, one of our clients, she's with this round of group coaching, and I see that she's asked a question. What makes up the perfect listing presentation? And do you think it should be hard copy or delivered digitally while you're there? I'd love you to speak to that question, because this idea of looking for the perfect presentation or the perfect script is something that we get a lot.
Well, that's a great question. And I'm going to tell you the number one thing I hear when I go for listings, and I have over 134 of them right now, is I was the only one who came prepared. I make a nice book. I put a picture of their house. And believe it or not, I do not put anything about any award I've ever won, because no one cares. It is about them. What's their market doing? What's in their neighborhood? You know, which homes, you know, did I sell in their neighborhood? Which homes have I shown in their neighborhood as a talking point? And also what I'm going to do step by step. How do I and Lusk plan to sell your house? I feel like that's really an important thing. And I do hard copy, and I always come prepared with full listing paperwork. Imagine that.
You're ready to sign that night.
Exactly. Because if you don't ask and you don't come prepared, the agent behind you will be. And I think women agents by far do a better job of preparing, because we're the ones getting up, getting kids ready for school, putting in the wash, cleaning out the dishwasher, planning what we're going to eat for dinner. We're planners. Your listing should be a plan of how you plan to sell their house. And be honest, don't buy your listings. Don't buy your listings. They will only help the second agent sell their house. Be honest. Mm-hmm. Here's the reality. And if you really don't know and you're a new agent, there's no harm of saying, sir, I honestly don't know what your house is worth, because I've got 5 different examples on 2 streets. Each one was unique, and none of them have a common denominator price-wise or terms. Here's 4 amazing appraisers in the marketplace, and let's get a pre-appraisal. Let's mark it up 3%. And then you know that I am not trying to buy your listing or tell you too little or telling you too much. It's a third-party person giving you a value. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If it doesn't appraise, you're not getting your mortgage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Excellent. I love that. I really appreciate your candor on that. That's not something I hear every day. we're past time, so I want to respect you to say, if you care to answer one last question. When you and I spoke, you said you wanted to speak at least briefly to the power of letting go. So if you have some time to expand on that, I know the ladies enjoy it.
I do, and I did just get my numbers.
Oh, good.
75,
Yes.
695, 489 million in 12 months.
Wait, what? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
The power of letting go. It's difficult. And I think it's the number one attribute agents need to have. As women, we tend not to like to let things go. And success in this business is that you need to be able to let go. You're going to lose listings. I lose listings. You know, and I'm like one of the number one agents in the state all the time. I even lose listings, guys, but I let it go. I wish them well. Sometimes things aren't meant to be, or sometimes it's the best thing that ever happened because that next agent got in a really bad lawsuit or something. So let it go. There's a why of what happened. Also, no one learns anything when they're comfortable. Only through the failure and painful situations do you further educate yourself. And sometimes a loss gets you closer to 10 more wins. So let it go. It will work out. There's a solution to every problem. And don't allow what you deem as a failure to ruin your attitude. It's, you know, you acknowledged what you did right, what you did wrong, you forgive yourself, you let it go and go to the next one. And just keep on trying.
Keep on going. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Ann. I know you said 2:30 was your stop point.
I have to go get a listing.
All right, go to it. Ann, thank you so much. I'm sure when I speak on behalf of the ladies, this has been an amazing half an hour. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day and much success to all of you.
All right. Thank you, hon. Take good care.
Bye.